So this weekend, Muslims across the world will celebrate Eid al-Fitr, or Festival of the Breaking of the Fast, which marks the end of the Islamic holiday month of Ramadan. Ramadan is meant to be a time of spiritual discipline, which includes going to the mosque for evening prayers. But with the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, these observances have been severely hampered. We're joined now by Tariq Azeem, Imam at the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat, and Tariq is our guest on the phone at this time. Good morning, Imam.
Good morning, Richie, and thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you for joining us. Please, first of all, tell us how members of the Jamaat are observing the month of Ramadan in comparison to previous years.
Yes, absolutely. Usually in the month of Ramadan, there is a lot of activity here at our headquarters in St. Catherine of Ahmadiyya Muslim community, and similarly across the globe. You know, there will be daily lectures on the Holy Quran, and members would try to come as often as possible and be part of the prayers as well as the lectures. And then in the night, usually around 7:30 p.m., we would gather for our prolonged prayer, nightly prolonged prayer that is exclusive to the month of Ramadan. Other times, throughout the year, we offer 5 daily prayers anyway. And those who can come to the mosque, they come to the mosque. And those who cannot, they offer it at home. So there's additional prayers and, prayer services and lectures during Ramadan that take place. Mm-hmm. And on weekends, actually, there's even more activity. There is, beside these lectures, there's breaking the fast together. And it is quite a festive and spiritual environment.
Okay. What are the plans then? What are the plans?
Year,
yes, go ahead. Yes, for Sunday.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this year we were not able to have all the congregational prayers as we usually do at the mosque, but people did not lose hope. And they carried on with their individual prayers at their home. And we shifted our lectures and sermons, just like most other, organizations and institutions, to YouTube and Zoom or other similar apps. Mm-hmm. And that was an interesting experience. And some good and negatives as well we witnessed. But overall, it was a wonderful experience. And, you have to learn to cope with whatever is available.
All right. So totally scaled down, a totally different, it's almost like a different format, really, in terms of how you celebrate this year.
Absolutely. It is very different. But this is how faith communities as well as humans in general, we learn to adapt to whatever is made available to us.
Yes. Imam, can you tell us what is Juma and how will that be facilitated during the pandemic? Is Juma at home being encouraged, for instance?
Yes. For our listeners who might not be aware of this term, Juma is actually the Arabic word very commonly used in Islamic terminology for Friday. And, just how Christians, majority of them go to church on Sunday or Saturday, Muslims have their weekly holiday on Friday. So past about 2 months, we have not been able to have congregational Friday prayer or Juma prayer at the mosque. But as you asked if we were offering at home, yes, absolutely. Members of Ahmadiyya Muslim community were encouraged to pray at home. But there is a requirement that for a congregational prayer, there has to be a minimum of 2 people. And in this case, preferably 3. So if someone lives by himself or herself, he or she cannot participate, unfortunately. So at my house, for example, my wife and I had been offering our, Friday prayers for the past couple of months at our house, and similarly many other members as well.
Okay. I'm aware that you've held a summer camp for the last 2 years, but with the onset of the pandemic, are you planning to go ahead with those?
Well, the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, it is our goal, our aim to serve humanity, and we look for ways to do it. In our neighborhood, unfortunately, there is many parents that cannot afford to send their children to school in summer as well. They barely afford to send it in regular days. So 2 years ago, our community started this project, summer camp. It was completely free of cost to the children. And we tried providing fun activities such as sports, bouncy castle, and other things, and also providing educational material and snacks to the children. So this was the program set up, and it has been going very well. But looking at the conditions right now, it seems quite unlikely that any such activity would be allowed before September. So if not, then we will have to look for other ways. Just recently, this past week, our community, our youth actually, set up this campaign called Neighborhood Helper. And our youth distributed food packages to the elderly and deserving families in our mosque neighborhood in St. Catherine. So within our limited resources, we will continue to look for ways to serve humanity, as that is the goal of our community.
Absolutely. We appreciate hearing that. You might have noted that the government has given permission, Imam, for religious organizations to resume services. Any plans to reopen the Jamaat, and how will you observe the protocols as outlined by the government?
Yes, I must say we are actually very fortunate that the health authorities and the government in general have managed to control COVID-19 in comparison to most other countries in the world. And in many countries, people still can't congregate because they have not been able to manage it as well in their countries. So yes, we abiding by all the protocols. We will reopen the mosque tomorrow with our Friday prayers. And then on Sunday, that is May 24th, we will have our Eid prayer as well. And we will, we have all different restrictions in place as the government has asked. For example, certain age restrictions, also, sanitization station, temperature checks, and, social distancing. Mm-hmm. In our faith, what happens is that when we offer congregational prayers, we are expected to stand shoulder to shoulder, as some people might have observed in pictures or videos. So, but considering the current situation, we will maintain social distancing, and people will stand as the government requires at a certain distance. And until the situation gets better, we will continue in this manner.
Okay. How large is the Muslim population here in Jamaica, approximately?
Approximately about 3 to 5% population of Jamaica is Muslim. So there's a sizable number, and there are Muslim population all over the island, mm-hmm. not just in one place. And there are several mosques and centers across the country.
Okay. Finally, what advice do you have for the nation during this crisis? Before you go, please tell us.
Yes, Richie. I believe that we must continue to observe the health safety protocols put in place by the government. We should not just get tired. It's not the first time a pandemic has affected the world. Actually, it happens every now and then, and we must learn from our past. And such as the Spanish flu, we've been talking about it on media for months now, and more than 50 million people died in that 2-year span. So this is something to learn. So instead of doubting and believing every conspiracy theory, we should practice the safety measures, and we should look out for the weak in our society. Look out for the elderly and those who might have lost their source of income in this period, and help them out. Share with them. See, I don't know, or I wouldn't know what somebody might be facing in Montego Bay, for example, or even in Kingston, for example, if I'm sitting in, St. Catherine. So we have to see within our sphere, within our neighborhood, within our community, and see who needs help. If each one of us does this, then we can get through this crisis quite well.
I do appreciate your time and the thoughts that you shared with us this morning, and I wish you a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of the celebrations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Great talking with you, Imam at the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat, Tariq Azeem. To all the other Muslims out there, enjoy the rest of Eid al-Fitr as you celebrate.